الرحمن الرحیم وصلی اللہ علی النبی الکریم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. The theme for the present talk is Sabr, or the concept of Sabr in Islam. Sabr means patience. There are some other words in the same meaning in the Quran. For example, I'raz. Sabr and I'raz have the same meaning. Sabr means patience, and I'raz literally means avoidance. Both are one and the same. These two words, that is Sabr and I'raz, are used in the Quran almost 200 times. This tells us that how many importance Quran gives to the Sabr and I'raz. There is a hadith, As-sabru, the Prophet of Islam has said, As-sabru mawwal al-mu'min. It means that Sabr is a divine shield for a true mu'min. This is not something as mysterious. It is a law of nature. By studying law of nature, you can understand how Sabr is a shield for a true believer. Then there is a verse in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. People of patience will be awarded unlimited reward. This is very special to Sabr. According to Quran, only Sabr has this special quality. It means it's not mysterious. It means Sabr gives you great success. Now, there are two aspects of Sabr, two aspects of patience or avoidance. One is related to this worldly life, pre-death period of life. The second is related to the world hereafter, that is post-death period of life. Now let us take the first. Why Sabr is so important to achieve success in this world? There is a hadith, the Prophet of Islam has said, "Alam anna an-nasra ma'a as-sabr." Success is only for those persons who keep patience. Alam anna nasr wa sabr. Sabr is the only condition to achieve success. Why? Because we are living in a world where everyone is free. This freedom creates competition and challenge. It is impossible to have a society where there is no competition, no challenge. So we are living in a world of challenge, world of competition. This creates problem. Every time we face some problem by others, so what to do? We cannot remove this situation. We cannot abolish the freedom given by God Himself. No one has the power to abolish the freedom. So no one has the power to abolish that situation which leads to challenge and competition. So we are compelled to live in such a situation where there are problems every time. So what to do? The concept of Sabr tells us that we have to learn the art of problem management. Sabr means you have to learn the art of problem management rather than to learn the art of eliminating the problems. That is impossible. So you have to learn the art of problem management, art of difference management. This is the only option for you. So this requires sabr. Without sabr, you cannot manage the problems. So it is very important. It is a basic condition to have a success in this world. Sabr is only another name for the art of problem management. Now, the world around us is a demonstration of this law of nature. This is a law of nature. Problem management is a law of nature. And nature has given an illustration. In nature, you can find a demonstration of this law of nature. How? See the stream, the flowing water. You know, stream starts is running from the top of the mountain. Then it flows down to the valley. So in its path, there are so many stones and boulders. Then what is the way of stream? Stream never try to remove all these stones, that is like obstacles. Stream is not a method of a stream to remove all these obstacles. But stream adopts the method of avoidance, keeping aside all these. It flows by keeping aside all these obstacles, all these stones and boulders. So this is the illustration given in the nature. This illustration gives you a lesson that try to manage the problems. Don't try to eliminate the problems. You know, stream is a natural phenomenon or divine phenomenon. Stream is a divine phenomenon or natural phenomenon. So stream adopts the culture of avoidance, and by avoiding all those stones and boulders, it flows and flows and flows until it reaches to its destination. And this is the lesson in the nature. This is a restriction by nature. This is a demonstration by nature how to do. We had to adopt this culture of patience and avoidance and adjustment. So confrontation is not solution. Confrontation will create some more problems. Confrontation will aggregate the problems. So confrontation is not solution. So one who wants to achieve success in this world, he must adopt this avoidance culture, this law of nature. In this sense, the Prophet of Islam has said that Sabr Mawbul Mumin. Sabr is Sabr, that is patience. Sabr is a divine shield for a true mu'min. Divine shield means natural field. Natural shield. Divine shield means natural shield. So this is the solution. There is no other solution to this problem. This is the only solution. One who tries to eliminate the problems, he certainly will destroy himself. He will destroy himself. You see, there is another illustration in the nature. See the rose plant. Rose plant is a unique demonstration of this principle. You know, on every branch of a rose tree, there are flowers and thorns, both side by side. But flower never try to eliminate those thorns. Never, never, never. Flower lives side by side. So flower has adopted flower and thorn. Both at one side, thorn never tries to attack the flowers, and flower never tries to eliminate the thorn. So rose plant has adopted a principle that may be called peaceful coexistence. This is a demonstration in nature. What we call peaceful demonstration is a natural formula. It is a natural formula. So rose plant is like a demonstration, like an illustration of this formula. So we have to adopt this formula. Otherwise, there is no gain, no success, no achievement. The other option is only destruction. There is a verse in the Quran, As-sulhu khair. Reconciliation is the best. It means that if there are some controversy between you and other party, you have to adopt the conciliatory course of action rather than confrontational course of action. This is as-sulhu khair. As-sulhu khair. So it's the one aspect of sabr that pertains to our worldly life, our material success. Then the same formula is applicable to the other aspect of life, that is our spiritual life. Here I would like to quote two verses from the Quran. One verse is ذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. ذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. It means that paradise is for those people who prove to be purified soul. Only purified soul will be given paradise. Only purified soul will be settled in paradise. Now, what is purification? What is purification? Here, we can understand this point by studying another verse of the Quran. And that is Sabr. وَيَتَّقَ وَيَصْبِرْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. There are a number of verses that tell us that without sabr, without patience, no one will find entry into paradise. Then how sabr is so important in this regard? What is the relationship between sabr and tazkiyah? Sabr and purification of soul. What is the relationship between the two? Now, what is tazkiyah? Who are purified soul? Purified soul are those who are positive soul, positive mind, positive thinking, positive thought. So purified soul means those who are positive thinker, who have positive personality. Now, how it is possible? You know, in this world, every time there are negative experiences, every time there are unpleasant situations, every time there are provocation. So how one can live with positive thought? How it is possible? There is a verse in the Quran, وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُوا هُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. When they are angry, they forgive. When they are angry, they forgive. It means that from outside they receive anger, but they return it into forgiveness. It's very strange. From the outside they receive anger, but their response is positive. Their response is forgiveness. This is the main source of cultivating a positive personality. Here also, in nature we find a demonstration of this kind of quality. That is cow, COW, cow. Cow is a divine industry. Cow takes grass and give us milk. So cow is an industry that is able to convert non-milk into milk. It means that cow is a converting industry. So is required by man. You have to convert negative thought into positive thought. Otherwise, you are not a deserving candidate for paradise. A person came to the Prophet of Islam. He said, Ya Rasulallah, allimni kalimatin aisha bihinna la tuksir alayya fansa. O Prophet, give me a master advice by which I may be able to manage all the affairs of my life. Prophet said, La taghdab. Don't be angry. What it means? What is La taghdab? It means that when you are provoked, provocation is a negative experience. Provocation is a negative experience. But according to this hadith, you have to convert this negative experience into positive thought. So just like cow, man is required to convert its negative thought into positive thought. This is purification of soul. ذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ مَن تَزَكَّى. Paradise, only those people will find entry into paradise who are purified soul. And who are purified soul? Those who are positive soul. And who are positive soul? Who are able to convert negative into positive. Those who are able to convert a negative experience into a positive thought. This is the process of making a positive person. Without this kind of process, it is not possible to build a person that may deserve for paradise. So here you can see that in both the period of life, in pre-death period and post-death period, we have to keep patience. For example, one creates some problem for you that is provocative for you. Then if you become angry, you want to take revenge, you want to fight, you want to give him a lesson, this means distraction. All these things means distraction. Ignorance, avoidance, and patience avoidance is saving yourself from distraction. It requires a non-stop process to build a positive personality. It is a non-stop process. To build a positive personality, to build a positive person, to build a man that which deserves to find entry into paradise, it needs a continuous process, non-stop process of inculcating positivity in its personality, in its mind, in its heart. This is a non-stop process. So when you become angry, when you are provoked, it means that you are distracted. All these reactions, every negative reaction is distraction. Every negative reaction is distraction that stops the process of building a positive personality. So you cannot afford to stop this process. Here I would like to say that there are so many things in our society about which we have to be very cautious, very, very cautious. According to my experience, every time, every moment there are distractions. Every moment. So you have to avoid these distractions. Otherwise you will be loser. Your family, your friends, your society, your neighbor, everyone always tries to distract you. So you must not allow others to distract your process. You have to be very, very cautious about this. Don't allow others to distract your process of building a positive personality. So every moment you have to be cautious. Otherwise your mistake will stop the process, and then it will be doubtful to find a seat in the paradise. Because only purified soul will find entry into paradise. And purified soul are those who are positive soul. And positive soul are those who can convert negativity into positivity. who save themselves by distraction. Distraction from family, distraction from friend, distraction from society, distraction from neighbors. Every time there are distractions. So you have to be very, very cautious. Very, very cautious. It is very important to know that paradise is one cannot find entry into paradise simply by reciting some words like kalima or some performing some rituals. All these things are not enough to you to find entry into paradise. A man who will find entry into paradise is a long, long process. It begins from discovery of truth. The travel to paradise begins from the discovery of truth. The travel towards paradise begins from the discovery of truth. When you discover truth, then you become cautious. Then you try to avoid all those distractions. Then you try to save yourself from all those negative thoughts. Then you try to make yourself a positive thinker. So when your journey starts of discovery, then all these things happens automatically. Discovery brings about a storm in your soul. Discovery means awakening. Discovery means awakening. Discovery awakens your mind. Discovery awakens your mind. Discovery makes you able to think. Discovery gives you art of thinking, art of management. After discovery, all these things becomes easily available for you. Without discovery, there is no revolution in your personality. And without revolution, there is no such positive activities. Discovery makes you a living person rather than a dead person. Without discovery, your iman is like stagnation. But with discovery, your iman becomes a living faith. Living faith. So you have to know that travel towards paradise begins from discovery of the truth, discovery of God, discovery of the Prophet, and all those things which are necessary in this regard. So discovery opens your mind. Discovery opens your mind. Without opening your mind, you can't understand anything. You can't understand anything. Only those people can understand the value of patience who are awakened people. Only those people who are awakened people can understand the value of patience and avoidance, sabr and iraz. So this is very important that in the word of hadith, as-sabru mawbul mu'min. Sabr is a shield. Sabr is a divine shield for a true believer. Sabr is not a passive attitude. Sabr is not a cowardice. No. There is a verse in the Quran, Isbir kama sabara ulul azmi min rusul. Isbir kama sabara ulul azmi min rusul. Keep patience just like prophets. So patience is a culture of prophets. Patience is a method of prophets. Patience is a way of prophets. It is not cowardice. It is not passivity. Fasbir kama sabara ulul azmi min rusul wala tastajil lahum. So sabr is a high quality. High quality. Sabr is a culture of a man of mission. One who has discovered truth and then he has adopted a life of mission. One who is a man of mission, he has no option other than to adopt Sabr culture. Sabr culture is a culture of those people who want to live with a mission, who are men of mission. All the prophets adopted this culture, that is patience, culture of patience, culture of avoidance. Without avoidance, without patience, you cannot achieve any valuable achievement. You cannot gain any valuable achievement. It is law of nature. It is law of nature. And you know, la tabdila li khalqillah. Law of nature cannot be changed. It is impossible to change the law of nature. So when achievement depends on sabr, you cannot achieve anything without keeping patience. So it is a part of nature. It is a law of nature. And law of nature cannot be changed. And also sabr is important in family life, in social life, in national life, as well as in international life. In every life, sabr is important. Without sabr, there is no life. Without sabr, there is no success. Without sabr, there is no achievement. And without sabr, there is no paradise. This is very clear in the Quran. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم أجمعين.
Muslims think that extending hospitality to friends and relatives is their Islamic duty. But isn't it a major distraction? What is the position of Islam in this regard?
According to my experience, I can say that present hospitality is, is a bid'ah, there is innovation. It is nothing but waste of money, waste of time, and distraction. It has nothing to do with Islam. It is simply a social custom. I never find the spirit of Islam in these activities. So I abandon all these activities. I never attend all these functions. The present culture is based on enjoyment, entertainment, and the present hospitality is only a part of this culture. I will give a very principle in this regard, Islamic principle. Hospitality is according to need and not according to greed. Now I find that a lot of waste of money in every in this so-called hospitalities. People waste their money and different time, different kind of food, different kind of dishes. This it is israf, and israf is haram. Present hospitality is nothing but israf. It's not hospitality. It's not service. The Islamic formula is simple food, simple living. I never find any hospitality with this according to this formula. Simple formula means any bread and some pulses. That is hospitality. This was hospitality adopted by Sahaba during the Prophet. Now it is pomp and show. It is waste of time. It is sheer bidah, sheer innovation, as well as it is israf. Israf means waste of money. Israf. So it is waste of money, waste of time, and also it is a distraction. So you have to decide that you will not allow these things in your life. So I have very negative thought regarding this, regarding the present hospitality. It is not hospitality, it is israf, that is waste of money.
Next question is by Aisha. She wants to know what is Iman or faith.
Iman, Iman means realization of truth, realization of God. So, in other words, you can say that Iman begins from discovery. When you discover the truth, when you realize the truth, then you are a mu'min. And this is the definition of Iman and mu'min.
The next question is asked by Sufia. She wants to know what is sin.
What is?
Sin. S-I-N.
sin is only a religious name, what I call distraction. Distraction is the greatest hurdle towards spiritual development. So there are two kinds of sin. One that are described as haram in Islam, and some other sins are not described as haram, but they are unwanted. Makruh, it is makruh. So one is makruh and one is haram. Haram means unlawful, and makruh means unwanted. So both kind of sins are distraction. Because when you commit this sin, you distract yourself. For example, if you take wine, then at that moment, you engage yourself in hoo-ha culture. You become unconscious. So we can't afford this kind of distraction. The process of intellectual development, process of spiritual development is a non-stop process. As I have earlier said that only developed personality can find entry into paradise, developed in terms of spirituality. So you have no time. If you want to find entry into paradise, you have to save yourself from all the distractions. And sin is the greatest distraction. You have to introspect every time. You have to think that this is hard, this is an obstacle or not. If you are serious about intellectual development and spiritual development, you have to examine everything, whether it is helpful or it is an obstacle. So if it is obstacle, then it is sin. And if it is helpful, then it is virtue. So if you are serious, you have to save yourself from all kind of obstacles. That is makruh or haram. Otherwise, your paradise will be doubtful. Your entry into paradise will be doubtful. You know, this world is selecting ground. Every time angels of God are recording our life. They are maintaining our records. So according to this record, we will be given either paradise or will be failure in the hereafter. So we have to be very, very cautious. You have to be very, very cautious. Never allow anything, including your friends, including your neighbors, including your family, including your community. Don't allow anything to distract you from to distract the process of development. Otherwise, you will be failure in the life hereafter.
The next question is asked by Muhammad Munshid. He wants to know, can we say that Shiite belief is contradictory to the belief of Islamic monotheism? And what is the opinion of Islamic jurists?
According to my study, Shia beliefs are not very well defined beliefs. Some Shia belief, some Shia scholars have the same belief which we ascribe to Sunni scholars. There is no difference at all, except one, that they believe in Fazilat Ali. So one sect of Shia, that is some scholars of Shia community, they believe that the same Quran, same Prophet, everything is common between Shia and Sunni scholars, except one, that is they believe that Ali was Afzal, so it was first right was for Ali to become the first caliph. Then some other Shia who are called Ghali Shia, they have some belief that is objectable for Sunni scholars. So according to my study, only those Ghali Shia have some different belief. Otherwise, other scholars of Shia have no such different belief except one, and there is not very great difference between the two. Then the second,
I wanted to know the view of the jurists.
according to my study, there are some moderate differences between the legal system of both the community. They believe in fiqh Jafariya. We believe in fiqh Hanafiya. So, according to my knowledge or study, although there are some differences, but these differences are not very, very basic. Basically, here also, both legal system is based on the same hadith and same Quran. So, according to my knowledge, there is no big difference between the two legal systems.
Next question is from Ajmal. He asks, is it possible to say that Allah is only in the heavens and not everywhere else?
This kind of statement is not correct when you speak about God. God is not like ourselves, that I am sitting on a chair. So you cannot say that God is sitting on some throne. So this kind of statement is not correct when you speak about God. So I don't think that this statement is very true in this context. And according to my, there is a very relevant hadith that Prophet of Islam has said, "Sakat an ashya min ghairi nisyanin fala tabassu anha." So one scholar has said that abhamu ma abhamullah. It means that something which is not described in precise words in the Quran and Hadith. So we have to believe it in principle. Don't try to give it a specific words. It will lead to bid'ah.
This question is from Hussein. He asks, I thought sin is directly related with unallowable. However, many a times we indulge unwittingly with unwanted, which is though a distraction but may not be unallowable. How can we call it sin? Kindly elaborate.
This question is very clear. How it is not allowable? No system can allow you to commit a sin. If you commit a sin, then you have to return back. You have to say that I was wrong. I don't think that why it is allowable. It is very clear for me.
Question first. My question is, there are two aspects, unallowable and unwanted. अब कभी कभी नहीं चाहते हुए भी कभी कभी हमसे ऐसा हो जाता है कि वक्त थोड़ा सा कहीं ना कहीं बर्बाद हो जाता है. That is not unallowable, but it is unwanted. I just wanted to know whether that is also sin.
Certainly it is sin. You cannot escape from its result. You have to see the result. If one commits a sin, so he will face the result. He will face the distraction. He will face this situation that his intellectual development has been stopped. Only repentance, that is tawbah, only repentance can remove all these things. Without repenting, there is no way to save yourself from the result. It is repentance by heart that saves you from the result, from the negative result. Otherwise, it's not possible to save yourself from the negative result. Repentance means accepting that I was wrong by heart.
The next question is from Razia. She wants to know, how does Sabr act as a shield?
How?
Does Sabr act as a shield?
It's very clear. It's very clear. For example, one provokes you. So if you are angry, if you become angry, then you will beat him. Then he will again beat you. You will throw a stone. He will throw bomb. But if someone provokes you and you become patient, then you can save this from this negative result. So it is very clear that if you become angry, then you have to face the result. And if you save yourself from anger, then it will serve as a shield. And in this situation, you will save yourself from the negative result of the anger.
Next question is by Maulana Zakwan. He wants to know, what is sincerity, ikhlas? What is the significance or importance of sincerity for salvation?
Sincerity is very, very important quality. Sincerity is only the secular name of what we call taqwa. Taqwa and sincerity both are one and the same. Taqwa is its religious name, and sincerity is secular name. So without taqwa, there is no salvation. So without sincerity, there is no guidance. there is no hidayat. So sincerity is necessary. The very first verses of the Quran gives us this teaching. You will read in the Surah Al-Baqarah in the beginning that Hudal lil Muttaqin. Quran, Zalikal Kitab la Rayb fi Hudal lil Muttaqin. Quran is a book of God, there is no doubt about it. Then Quran says that Hudal lil Muttaqin. It is guidance to those who are muttaqi people. It is guidance to muttaqi people. It means that it is guided to those who are sincere people. Without sincerity, you are not a receptive person. Without sincerity, you cannot contemplate, you cannot give it very seriously. So Hudal lil Muttaqin, Quran is guidance to people of taqwa. It means that Quran is guidance to those who are sincere. This is my opinion about this question.
The next question is from Maria. She wants to know what kind of hospitality is allowed in Islam.
According to my experience, no hospitality. Hospitality is bid'ah. Bid'ah. I don't believe in so-called hospitality. I don't believe in so-called hospitality. It is a cultural. It is a cultural rather than religious. I never find any hospitality where only simple food are served. Then why you can say it's hospitality? It's not hospitality. It means that you are maintaining your status. Present hospitality is maintaining your status. No. During Prophet's time, there was hospitality. And how it was hospitality? Any prophet was invited to some house, and the housewife or that person living in that house, he would serve only a bread or some kind of dates or some olive oil. This was their hospitality. Now I don't know anyone who can serve these food items. So it is not hospitality. It is israf, waste of money. So I don't believe that this is hospitality. It is bid'ah, innovation. If you can serve those foods which Sahaba were serving, then it is hospitality. Otherwise it is not. Otherwise it is israf. There is waste of money. Is it clear?
This question is from Anwar Azam. What is the meaning of the verse of the Quran? وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ.
There are different situations. For one is when you are facing poverty or hunger, there is also time of patience. One is when you are facing some kind of defensive war. Here, boss means defensive war. So if someone attacks not attacks to you, but to state. Only state has the right to go to war. So at the time of war, also patience is required. But at present, there is no such wars. All these people who are fighting, They are fighting in their personal capacity as a NGO, as an organization. No state is involved in this war. So all these wars are haram. All these wars in the name of jihad are haram. Because jihad means state war, not individual war. Ar-Rahilu lil Imam. To declare a war is a prerogative of Islamic state. So those people who are engaged in present violence in the name of jihad, they are doing unlawful activities. This is not Islam.
This is my question. People are generally impatient. So, what is it that refrains them from keeping patience?
Think about God's blessing. Think about the reward of patience. Think about the reward given by God on patience. Then you can refrain yourself from being impatient. There is a verse in the Quran, أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. Only patient people will be rewarded paradise. أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. So patience is price of paradise. So if you go through this Quranic verse, then it is very easy for you. It becomes very easy for you to become patient, because then you will feel that patience is a price of paradise. Is a ticket to paradise. Only this kind of thinking makes you to adopt patience and avoidance.
This point was not very clear. Wasting of our time, our energy, our resources, and everything we have at our disposal is just like committing a sin. Like you said that it is distraction is sin. So is it sin and we have to turn to God in repentance?
I am saying that result is the same. Result is the same. According to my study, I can say that only purified soul can be awarded paradise. Purified soul. And purification is a long process. Long process. So when you commit a sin, when you are engaged in something other than some irrelevant activities, then you are stopping the process of intellectual development. You are stopping the process of purification of our soul. So in this sense, I can say that the result of the both is one and the same. So according to my study, sin is sin because it is distraction. Distraction. It is my finding. The sin is sin because it's a distraction. It stops the process of purification, which is the only way to find paradise.